Alright. Okay, so get it rolling. Okay, I ended up taking Loop 202 east over to Highway 87. Take 87 up into Payson. What are we doing, Bobtail? I'm not going to sit here and do a putt pace with you. Come on, dude, you don't need to block the whole entire lane. I'm not interested in doing 3 miles an hour with your ass. Kidding me? You knew you were going to do that. You could have checked up for me earlier, jackass. There's a truck coming. Come on. Yeah, he's coming out of the parking lot. He's still slow speed, so. My phone's getting a little hot already because the sun getting shining directly at it. I'm sure. Get some cool air coming into here too. I'm wondering if the 202, the new part of 202, I'm wondering if I can take that down and straight over to where the part of 202 is that I'll need to get over to 87. I think I can, but yeah, I think it does go into that same area. So I might go that way, just get on from over here. So I can actually see cars on 280 on Loop 202 now, straight ahead. Just past the tree. You probably can't see it on your view, but I can see cars going back and forth in the north-south kind of direction, and that's right about where 202 is. I knew that light was going to change on me. You just have to mess with me all day, right? It's an interesting color scheme on this Jeep. I think I kind of like it, actually. Look, everybody over there signaling turns, so. Get on the 202 from here. Alright, I go through downtown. Because I think there is a more northern part of 202 also. It goes across. see plenty of puffy clouds straight ahead. Nice weather here in Phoenix, but definitely evidence might run into some stuff on going into the mountains. That's the 140, 43rd Avenue. I-17 coming up in a couple miles. Eric was telling me earlier there was a rock slide that had shut down part of I-17 earlier today. It looked like it was only the southbound side that was affected. But there was a closure for rock slide. I guess they already got the slide cleared up though. A pretty scenic route will be on. Not sure how much you'll be able to see because I'm sure there's going to be some buffering going on, but get what we can out of it. Take that way, I just don't want to. Lower speed limit on 17, and why transition on other roads when I can just stay where I'm at and not have to worry about trying to merge with other people on top of dealing with the lower speed limit. I always prefer taking this route, this direction if I can. If I have to go through the Phoenix area, to stay on 10. Tractor going the other way. Phone's cooled off better now. junction. What do we got? 51 and 202. 1 3/4 mile. And I do believe that's the 202 that I want. Yes, it is. Looks like we're getting slowed a little bit here. These cars seem to be slowing on that around the curve a little bit. Get over there since I know my exit's coming up. I don't want to have a hard time getting over when I need to. Alright, 202 East, 1 1/4 mile. You're just a little north of Sky Harbor Airport. Yeah, you know, it's funny, Lisa, I do that a lot, too. I don't know why it's so fun to honk and, honk air horns and stuff in tunnels. Wait till I own the truck and then I put a train horn on it. That'll have more fun. Shipborne, that'd be interesting. Having trouble getting the right amount of throttle input for my downshifts because of this foot. Going through a pretty upscale part of the Phoenix area here too. Get out here a little bit, yeah, it's very nice. Scottsdale is more of an affluent part of the area. Southbound after that. Red Mountain Freeway. That's a good term for it, because I will be going by Red Mountain to get up there. getting off the freeway here or whatever. Gonna be getting off soon. Loop 101, 6 minutes. Loop 101 and US 60, 9 minutes. I will be going by, following along too once I'm on US 84. So I could technically take 60 across, but there is a section of 60 here in Arizona that's not really truck legal. So that's not a truck route that I'm aware of. I'm pretty sure it's a truck restricted route actually. So I can't just take 60 straight across. Dipshit, I was gonna move over there, but I'm not gonna do it while I'm in the middle of a curve, jackass. I don't change lanes if I can't see around my trailer. State University coming up. This is a nice area right here. Come through here at night too, you'll see a lot of decorative lights and stuff. Up on Loop 101. Airplanes on the landing pattern for Sky Harbor coming right through here on both sides of us now, and I see one getting ready to turn final now up here heading to the left. both the real and a fake cell phone tower here. They're both over here on the right, you can't see it, but one of them looks like a palm tree, the other one's a normal looking one. Mesa and X17 exits. And Mesa is where the turn on to Highway 87 will be. Exit 10, Dobson Road coming up. A real cell phone tower right in front of me. Imagine it'd be mostly real cell phone towers along this route. School Road. Real cell phone tower to the left. One straight ahead. Alright, here's 87 coming up. I don't know why it was telling me the exit real soon. This first part of 87 will be a little annoying to get to because the traffic lights and stuff. Plus there are some neighborhoods and a casino and all that up here. Come through at night when it's more quiet, it's a lot easier to deal with, but this time of day and on a weekend, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a little more active. Light's yellow on the other side. Looks like I got a Mesilla Valley transport truck behind me. It's a bobtail. Decades. The hottest party, the biggest night, New Year's Eve. Oh, dancing through the decades. New Year's Eve, 120,000. Alright, Payson 75 miles from here. So over an hour. Probably call about an hour and a half considering the speeds I'm going to have to run. Got to get out of the inhabited area first, and then even then I'm going to have a lot of up and down hills to slow me down. Salt River, Pima, Maricopa Indian Community. Disabled veteran, New Mexico. There's and a gas station with truck parking here, right here on the right side. Tobacco outlet, Little Caesars, Beeline Highway pit stop. Not much room for truck parking there, but there's a little gravel lot there, it looks like. Zone here. Alright, good. Vapor that charges while you recharge. Valley turned into that lot there. There was another Mesilla Valley truck with a trailer though, sitting over there. Looks like it's kind of more scattered clouds, but with pretty good coverage. Doesn't really look like anything that would concern me yet for as far as stormy weather is concerned. I'm sure it'll get better though. He's getting shots of the cactus right here, or the cacti right here in the median, and trying to see if there are any over on the sides too. I'm seeing them in the median for sure. So much on the sides. So here's several cacti right there. There are some cacti over here on the out in the field too. Saguaro cacti. Gilbert Road coming up. It is currently red. I might have to stay over here in this lane. There's another one's ending. What is this? Salt River Landfill over on the left side. There's a real cell phone tower over there too. Salt River Indian Community. No trespassing or dumping. Violators subject to arrest and prosecution. Next 20 miles. Must have wild Mustangs here. Or perhaps people riding horses. Hey, what's up, Corey? Just tuning in on State Route 87, going northbound from Mesa, Arizona up to Payson at the moment. There we'll be taking, I'm going to take 87 into Payson, and then I'll take State Route 260 east and take the 77s, basically 277 and 377 up into Holbrook. I'll get on the I-40 in Holbrook and then take that across to Santa Rosa. Probably end my shift in Santa Rosa. Nice view there, that mountain rock thingy, whatever it is, right in front of me. Colorful. It's got some red on it, and it's got some green vegetation on it. I got a whole bunch of saguaros over here to the left. A bunch of young ones too. Prime rib, that sounds good. Go for some of that. Right shoulder close to head. Road work, expect delays. Starting January 6th. power through here, out here. Coming up here. Yeah. And it's flashing, so it's green at the moment.
Plane crashes in Lafayette, Louisiana, killing at least 5. Fox News 1 hour ago. At least 5 people were killed with a twin-engine plane with 6 people on board crashed in Louisiana on Saturday morning, local media reported. The plane crashed in a parking lot near a Walmart and U.S. Post Office building in Lafayette, at the intersection of Euro School Road and Feu Follet. Lafayette Fire Chief Robert Benoit confirmed to KLFY that there were 5 fatalities at the scene. Acadian Ambulance said on Twitter that they transported 2 patients to local hospitals from the crash. Their conditions were not immediately known. Lafayette Police Lieutenant Scott Morgan told Fox News the incident took place at 9:22 a.m. local time. Local media reported eyewitnesses saying the plane may have hit a power line before the crash. The impact blew out some of the windows of the post office. I was right outside before the crash, local resident Kevin Jackson told KLFY. I noticed the plane was low and smoking like hell. It shook my trailer. He added, I knew something was bad. I went in my house, and all you heard was this massive explosion. KATC reported that the Walmart store on Pinhook Road was closed and evacuated. All businesses in nearby neighborhoods were without power after the crash. Federal investigators are en route to the scene. It was not immediately known if there was a distress call from the plane before the crash. This is a developing story. Check back for updates.
Once we get past these casinos, it should clear up. Oh, there's like a monument thing there. Should have stopped to check that out. I take it you're a poultry eater. Must like chicken and turkey more. So Water Lake Junction, 8 miles. Payson, 61. It's about the 252 mile marker. Don't park along highways to play in snow. Verde River. I assume that you're more of a poultry eater than if you're not a beef eater. Or are you a vegetarian or what? It doesn't sound like you're vegetarian, so guessing you're more into poultry, like chicken and turkey. I tend to be mostly a chicken eater myself, but I definitely love me some beef. You gotta have bison too. It's a really healthy type of meat. Bison burgers. They're They're leaner than cow meat is. They taste just at least as good. Venison, that's another one. Oh my God, I could go to town on venison meat, also known as deer meat. Oh, that's some good stuff. Tonto National Forest. On my trailer. Entering private land, U.S. Department of Agriculture.
Truck driver hit by car while helping motorists on the I-15 freeway in Victorville. BBNG.com, yesterday. Victorville, Calif. BBNG.com, a tow truck driver helping a motorist that struck black ice on the I-15 freeway was struck by another vehicle early Friday morning. According to the California Highway Patrol incident logs, a two-vehicle crash was reported at 4:48 a.m. on the northbound I-15 freeway at the East Street off-ramp in Victorville. The vehicles were reported as blocking the roadway. The East Street off-ramp was ice-filled with vehicles sliding and Caltrans was requested to respond and cinder the roadway, per the logs. An air expressway tow truck was dispatched to the call, and as the driver was preparing to move the vehicle, a second vehicle lost control and struck the tow truck driver. The driver of the tow truck was transported by ground ambulance to an out-of-area trauma center. A second ambulance was requested for one of the other drivers who had a complaint of pain. CHP temporarily halted southbound traffic as they investigated the crash and cleared the roadway. An update on the condition of the tow truck driver was not immediately available. Additional information will be updated when it becomes available. To follow updates to this article and more, join our news group on Facebook with over 130,000 members, like our Facebook page, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Now, I heard something about the 15 freeway were getting closed yesterday morning in that area. I heard it was something about black ice or whatever, icy conditions, but that was it. I didn't know there was an accident. Doesn't surprise me though. side, exit 199, Bush Highway coming up. A little over 50 miles away from Payson, Arizona. Junction Highway 188, 37 miles. Payson 53.
Answered November 8, 2019. Author has 1.3K answers and 2.3 meters answer views. My high school marching band was invited to march in the 1980 Rose Bowl parade. We were selling candy bars to raise money for the trip. One day, my friend MK and I decided to go door to door at her townhouse complex selling our wares. At one house, when the door opened, a cloud of funny, smelling smoke wafted out. Okay, it was weed and I knew exactly what that smelled like. The owner had a really long beard and so did his friend. When they heard we were in marching band, they said, "Cool, we're in a band too." Then we talked about our instruments and music for a few minutes. They thought getting to march in the Rose Bowl parade was really cool. We only had a couple bars left but said we had more if they wanted it. He told us, "Bring it all, we want to see you guys on TV." And then donated an extra $100. 3 years later, the stoners who bought all our band candy released their top-selling album, Eliminator. ZZ Top went above and beyond to help us get to the Rose Bowl parade that year. Nice guys. 27.3K views. View 1.6K upvoters. View sharers. Answer requested by Rebecca Burgess. About the author. Rachel Pfeffer. Avid accumulator of interesting, sometimes useless, facts. Lawyer, commercial litigation for 30 plus years, 1988 present. JD. From UT Law School, graduated 1988. Lives in Houston, TX. 2.3 meters content views 419.3K this month. Knows French. View 62 other answers to this question. About careers, privacy terms, contact. Open an app. Article 2 of 64. Answer, Quora. Open an app. Sign in. Have you ever accidentally entered into a place that you weren't supposed to? If yes, what was the aftermath? Raymond DeVries, student of life, communicator, husband and father, 2000 present. Answered November 1st, 2019. Author has 561 answers and 2 meters answer views. It was a bar in Frankfurt, Germany. The music called me from outside. Happy and upbeat, the rhythms promised to smooth the roughness out of my long day. I couldn't see inside, but the 2 women who entered before me showed it was not unpopulated. Not that the patrons mattered to me, I was alone and satisfied that way. I just wanted to have a drink and let some tunes wash over me. As I opened the door, I was greeted by a rush of warm, moist, lightly sweated, slightly perfumed air mixed with a not unpleasant undertone of cigarette smoke and alcohol. It was dark and it took my eyes a few moments to adjust. As the vapor evaporated from my glasses and my pupils dilated, it quickly became clear that I was the only male in the bar. As I turned to leave, a short brunette put her hand on my shoulder and said, "You can stay if you want. Just because we like women doesn't mean we don't like men." When I answered in slightly accented German that I didn't want to impose, she grabbed my hand and said, "You're nice, come and meet my friends." As a shy guy, I was overwhelmed by her open and friendly manner. She closed the sale with, "Come on, don't be shy, we don't bite." I spent the night dancing and chatting with 8 lovely women. I got a hug from every single one when I left. I never saw them again, but their kind hearts and eyes live on in this story. 46.7K views. View 3K upvoters. View sharers. About the author. Raymond DeVries.
45 degrees right now, and it is starting to look like we might start getting into some stormy weather pretty soon.
Language and business at Pennsylvania State University, graduated 1987. Lives in Colmar, Alsace, 2000 present. 2 meters content views 309.1K this month. Knows German. View 100 plus other answers to this question. About careers, privacy terms, contact. Open an app. Article 3 of 64.
6% downhill grade coming, but kind of light, so it shouldn't be hard to get down it. Such a beautiful view.
Answer, Quora. Open an app. Sign in. How can I find dedicated commercial truck drivers and keep them?
Love this
What
view.
makes a truck driver want to stay with a company? Alex Ross. Answered December 13, 2019. There's already some great advice from the previous responses, but I'll try to add it. I've only been a driver, no trucking management EXP, so all I can really contribute is what attracted me to a company and what helped me stay. What attracts me to advertisements and what do I see as red flags? Red flags, sign-on bonuses, poor grammar, exclamation points, especially lots and lots of them. Apply today. Great pay. What's attractive, brief but decent summary of what the daily job entails. Home time, if OTR, ABG, length of work day and days off, if local, healthcare benefits, 401k, vacation, and other paid time off, if applicable. Accentuate the positives. Is the work is easy? Is it mileage pay with very little downtime? Is it local and hourly? Are the customers, receivers friendly? Nice facilities. Easy to deal with. Relatively predictable schedule. Garage, mechanics on site for repairs and PMs. Anything positive, mention it. Make the ad sound like a friendly professional company that has it together, even if it requires an outside source for help. And then there's the general stuff I look at when I peek around. Equipment. Doesn't have to be new piece. Just equipment that is clean. Equipment that is clean, looks well maintained and is mechanically sound. Bungee corded and mismatched body part colors. Ratty equipment in general. Stuff that attracts attention. I don't want to be sweating bullets every time I go through a scale or see in the median. I've got 3 clean inspections in the last 5 years and no tickets. I take pride in that and I'm interested in maintaining a good record for myself and for the company I work for. And I definitely look at CSA scores of potential employers. Management. Is everyone professional? Courteous? I get good or bad vibes when communicating on the phone and during interviews. I trust those vibes and use them when making a decision. I talk to drivers if I can. I greet any office personnel when I pass by them when I'm in for an interview. I do take notice of whether or not people seem happy, friendly and professional. As for retaining, if you have paid vacations, maybe increase the amount over time if you don't already do that. I'm getting close to having 3 weeks paid vacation in addition to personal days and paid holidays. A few years after that, I'll have 4 weeks. I would really hate to have to start over on vacation time again. This is probably the number one thing that keeps me around. 401k with company match. Nice to have. Seniority. If seniority has any benefits, picking loads, routes, vacation dibs, etc., I would think that respecting seniority would also help in regards to retention. If we have a lot of time invested and it's beneficial, it's hard to quit and throw that away. Bonuses. Attendance bonus is nice. Not much, but over $1,000 if we make it all year with no lates or call-offs. Getting paid extra for something you're supposed to do anyways is always nice. As Marlon said previously, most of this takes time, especially the culture. Some of it can be implemented quickly, but the vibe and feel part of the image takes time and a good plan. And I'm sure you're well aware, not all drivers deserve the above, i.e., ones who drool over the 10K sign on bonus and exclamation points. Get the ones who do deserve it, the ones who are going to look at the whole package, and I think the retention part will be much easier. 8 views. View 1 upvoter. About the author. Alex Ross. Lives in Ohio. 14.8K content views, 2.2K this month. View 3 other answers to this question. About careers, privacy terms, contact. Open an app. Article 4 of 64. Answer, Quora. Article 5 of 64. Answer, Quora. Open an app. Sign in. As a surgeon, what is the scariest thing you've seen in the operating room? Alfredo A. Sadin, professor at University of California, Los Angeles. Updated June 13, 2019, upvoted by Ray Duncan, MD, FAAP. Graduated from UCLA Medical School 1977, pediatric resident 1977-1980, neonatology fellow 1980-1982, and David Chan, MD from UCLA, Stanford Oncology Fellowship author, has 330 answers and 2.9 meters answer views. A 30-year-old man came to see me for unexplained visual loss in one eye. I thought there was a mass pushing against his left optic nerve and ordered an MRI. This demonstrated that the mass was in fact a large aneurysm of his carotid artery against the brain. The protocol was to send such cases to the vascular neurosurgeon who saw him the same day. He agreed on the diagnosis and ordered an angiogram to better show the aneurysm. Both the angiogram and surgery were set for the next morning. This was about 1987 and there was no way of fixing the aneurysm without open neurosurgery. We were lucky as Dr. was world famous for his technical ability. And he was kind to allow me to come as his assistant. The skull was opened by the resident by drilling 4 holes that were then connected with an electric saw that had a ridge to protect the soft brain beneath. The large skull flap was removed and the underlying dura, tough skin around the brain, cut and flapped back, exposing the brain. For the next hour the chief resident pushed and manipulated the brain to one side. And then a ridge of bone had to be drilled down for better exposure. Then we had a clear view, the juncture of the carotid and ophthalmic arteries with a big bulging arterial aneurysm coming straight up at us. Before touching this, doctor placed 2 cords around the carotids on both sides. Just in case, he explained. Then, a silver aneurysm clip was slipped in behind the aneurysm and slowly released, allowing the 2 prongs to cinch closed over the neck of the aneurysm. Only I didn't get to see the last part. Suddenly the entire brain pan filled with blood. I was suctioning but couldn't keep up with the outpouring of blood. The resident ripped his suction tip off and I followed suit, so we went with these hoses into the bloody opening, but we couldn't make any headway or even see the brain. Doctor couldn't see a thing and blood was spilling up and over the edges of the skull. A nurse started to read the falling blood pressures. 110/65ths, 90/50ths, 70/40ths, 55/0. Then the anesthesiologist said, "We've lost him." Blood pressure crashed to unmeasurable. The nurse was squeezing bags of blood into him but couldn't keep up with what was pouring out. Now if this happens in the abdomen, you compress the bleeder or place clamps. But in the brain, you don't have those options. but cool as a cucumber. Doctor stuck his hands below the surface of the blood and began feeling about. He tied off the carotids proximal to the bleed. Then suddenly our suction worked, and the blood pressure came up from 0. Doctor examined the area and laughed. There was a second aneurysm hiding behind the first one, he exclaimed. A second silver clip was placed. Then the carotid ligatures were removed. I turned to the anesthesiologist and said, "Were you scared?" "No," he said, "just sad. He was dead and I saw no hope that we could get him back." Such a young man. 2 hours later I related the story to the patient's wife. On follow-up the patient did great. He even got his vision back. I have never seen such cold-blooded rapid action under fire. Doctor didn't even take a second to swear. Afterwards in the doctor's lounge, he smiled and said, "It's more fun when it goes like that." 482.9k views. View 27.7k upvoters. View sharers. About the author. Alfredo A. Sadin. Student, professor at MIT, Harvard, Einstein, Caltech, UCLA. Professor at University of California, Los Angeles. Studied at Massachusetts Institute of Technology. 2.9 meters. Content views 120.1k this month. In other languages. In Spanish. Como Cirujana, KS lo más aterrador que has visto en el quirófano. In Italian.
A lot of traffic coming up this way. We're probably have an annoying time in the Payson area or elsewhere.
About careers, privacy terms, contact. Open an app. Article 6 of 64. Answer, Quora. Open an app. Sign in. As a police officer, what is something small someone can do that makes you immediately suspicious? Norm Lintz, studied at Redmond High School. Answered October 2, 2019. Upvoted by Norbert Scheck, Ph.D. Law and Constitutional Law, John Hall II, Catholic University of Lublin, 2008, and Karen Mackey, J.D. Law, University of Nebraska-Lincoln, 1994. Any number of things. A couple of examples. I saw a young guy climbing up a house to get into the second-story window. Stopped and got him down. Young guy had forgotten his keys and was going to get them. Everything checked out. Another time I saw this young guy running down the street, pale and sweat just pouring off of him. Finally got him stopped and asked what the problem was. He had come from the Midwest and got a job with a contractor. He then got hooked on drugs and hit bottom. He had run off the job, and was running toward a bridge to jump off and drown. Told him to get into the car and I would help him. I would find a bed for recovery from the drugs, and that I knew his forming, and there were 2 things you didn't do to him, that was to steal from him and lie. Other than that he would work with you. Got to the station and it took several phone calls before I found a bed recovery. He did recover and went back to work, and every time he saw me afterwards he would thank me. 59k views. View 3.3k upvoters. View sharers. Answer requested by John Diepenbrock. Suggestions pending. About the author. Norm Lintz. Studied at Redmond High School. Lives in Snohomish, Washington. 63.7k content views 5.9k this month. View 36 other answers to this question. About careers, privacy terms, contact. Open an app. Article 7 of 64. 64. Answer, Quora. Open an app. Sign in. What is the ballsiest thing you've ever seen another person do? Ella Green, dreamer, hopeful for the future. Answered August 2, 2019. Upvoted by Michelle Collard Stone, behavioral psychologist, Ph.D. When I was in primary school, my grandfather used to bring lunch for my sister and I, and sat with us until we finished our food. Every day. Until I was 16 and felt embarrassed by that, and convinced my grandparents to just give us lunch money instead of getting fresh home-cooked meals. In my defense, I was young and stupid and just wanted to be cool. We lived with our grandparents in a small town in Malaysia for 13 years, long story, but my parents are still alive and they're not abusive, etc. One day, a madman somehow got through the school gates and was terrorizing everyone. He was unarmed but very violent. All classes were in lockdown while waiting for either the police to come and rescue us or the madman to go away, whichever came first. My class was located across the canteen and had a clear view of both the canteen and the entrance gates, so we could watch where the madman was going and doing. As it was nearly lunchtime, my stomach started growling, anticipating food. I observed the madman making himself home at the canteen, rummaging through the rubbish bins while yelling incomprehensible things. I saw the canteen ladies looking rather terrified but locked themselves safe in the kitchen area. It had partly transparent glass walls. When the bell signaling lunchtime rang, the teacher told us to be cautious and avoid the madman, and let us go. 15 minutes on, the police still had not arrived. As I was walking out of the classroom slowly, I saw my grandfather carrying the basket containing our lunches, walking calmly to our usual table at the canteen. I was anxious and afraid. I did not want my grandfather to get hurt. He set the table as per usual, ignoring the still raving madman who had now started to kick around the empty bin. My grandfather looked around and saw me, and motioned for me to come over. I was not quite sure what to do and was quite terrified at the prospects of being in the near vicinity of a violent madman, but I was hungry. My growling stomach won and I went to sit with my grandfather, and eyed the madman warily. My sister, who was 8 at the time, came bouncing.
I'm starting to get some evidence of snowfall here. It's smaller flakes though. Ooh, damn it. I just want to see what my elevation is. Alright, 3585. A little over 3,500 feet level and starting to get snow. This doesn't look like the stuff that'll stick though. .38 degrees locally. And right around the 220 mile marker, so just over 30 miles from Payson. Motorcycle riders probably can't be enjoying themselves too much with this. Yeah, I just started snowing a few minutes ago. These are small particles. I don't see this sticking too well. About 30 miles south of Payson. Alright, 7% downhill grade coming up in a couple miles. Have any problems with the 6% grade, so now it's starting to stick here. Gotta be careful of this bridge here. Bridges ice more easily. Rate checked area 1 mile. Visibility's getting more limited too. temperature is 34 Fahrenheit, about 1 degree Celsius. Snowplow working on the other side. Entering Gila County. Everything's covered in snow here now. Rye 18 miles, Payson 29 miles. Fog my damn windows. Now it's working. Taking long enough to kick in though, shit. Taking her sweet ass time to fogging on me. I can see better than what the camera can see, so don't be too concerned. Right now you're just getting the effects of the fogged up windshield, and it's kicking in. It's just taking its time to work. Sure, there'll be plenty more of this to deal with along the route. Truck ramp, half mile. 25 miles south of Payson now. Pretty good chunk of ice there. The snow level is mainly about the 3,500 to 3,600 foot level. That's about where the one elevation I was at when I started encountering snowfall. Didn't last very long there though. Downhill grade coming up. A lot of snow on the mountain right there in the background. Not this one here in front of me, but the one behind it. roughly 20 miles now from Payson. Gear, third stage jake's actually too strong for this, so actually just the right gearing, so I can jump back and forth between second and third stage would be perfect. Fire danger blue. Got about 38 degrees Fahrenheit here. See, the white pickup and a turnout up here. Highway 188 coming right up. Roosevelt Lake, Tonto National Monument. Deer Creek Trailhead. Payson, 17 miles. What the hell? It just rebooted itself. Yep, sure did. I'll have to go with regular dash cam view instead of streaming then. Not sure why it rebooted. Or no, it's because the battery's dead. There's a lot of this area I can't get a good signal with anyway, so I'll just repost all this off the dash cam footage. Maybe it would be better to just use the same footage from the dash cam that where it doesn't rely on internet connection and have buffering issues. There's a lot to see here that just wasn't able to be seen by people watching the stream, so I'll just repost it where the dash cam footage will be a lot more clear too, and there won't be any buffering at all. Quarter mile. Crossing Rye Creek now. This country store, beer, ice, and groceries. I'm starting to see a bit of white, blue sky there at the end, so it looks like a very huge system here. 240 mile marker now, so between 10 and 15 miles out from Payson. We're starting to get a little bit of snowflakes here again. And about 10 miles south of Payson, starting to get very few snowflakes hitting me. A few small ones, I should say. And Miss Bruce E. Benson. That's what it said. Call it snow flurries here. They're just little small snowflakes that are kind of floating. Not sure it'll do any good to switch gears yet. I'll probably just keep it down a little bit. Better fuel economy. of snow sticking to the hill over here. So I'm at 42.30 now. So probably call it just over the 4,300 foot marks when like the snow started to stick to everything. Yeah, it's starting to get a little more heavy on the snow on the coming down too. It's still not large flakes though. Still call a little more of a snow flurry than anything. $43.50. $4,400. Heading 324, so it's northwest. Northwest. It's 360 degree view. 360 is due north, or 0 degrees is due north also, and then 180 is due south, 90 is due east, and then 270 is due west. I got a GPS app that's telling me which direction I'm facing and all that. Topping out here just over the 4,700 foot mark. So you got plenty of, not plenty, but definitely a lot of coverage there. Snow covered a lot of the ground. Trail coming up on the left. What is that place over there? There's a cell phone tower over here, and then there's a building over here. Jim Jones Shooting Range Road. Climbing 4770 now, but it's not as steep. So I can actually climb at full speed through here. Air danger, or looks like it's at the bottom. I would hope so. 4,800 feet. Topping out at here 49, 47, 49, 53, 58, 59, 65, 67, Alright, so 49.67 is where that top was. Alright, just about into the south end of Payson now. Just a couple miles away. Tonto National Forest, round and stern. Speed reduced ahead to 45. Entering Payson, elevation 5,000, founded in 1882. Yeah, I am still climbing here. Even it doesn't feel like I'm climbing though. 49.78, 79. Mazatlan, something casino. No Jake brakes while on city limits. Well, too bad. I'm not burning up my brakes. I got a muffler on my Jake brake anyway. I'll be getting on to 260 eastbound pretty soon here. East Phoenix Street. Circle K coming up ahead. Coming soon, I mean. Main streets. Restock trailer parts and supplies. Payson's only locally owned and operated auto parts store. We turn drums and rotors. Man's a square. Kiva County Sheriff's Office, National Bank of Arizona, General Store with CBD product. Dude, are you freaking serious, you dumb shit? Alright, Highway 260 coming ahead, half mile. His poor planning's not an excuse for cutting me off like that. Even dumber when we're on a wet road like this. Gilberto's, whatever. I think that was the same place I used to always eat at in Tucson. My foot hurts. Alright, right up here is 260. Sholo and Holbrook, right lane. Come on. A little more advanced noticing you're going to turn right would be great. Man, I like this town. It's always interesting coming through here. It's scenic. Damn you, light. Star Valley. I cannot read the distance yet. 4 miles. Christopher Creek, 21, Heber, 52. I do believe I'll be going through Heber.